This is an interview that I did with Sarah Posner. She is the author of Unholy: Why White Evangelicals Worship at the Altar of Donald Trump. Hi, I'm Tracy Fessenden. I'm the co-director of the Recovering Truth Project, and I'm thrilled today to be in conversation with Sarah Posner. Sarah Posner is a journalism fellow in the Recovering Truth Project. She is the editor most recently of Unholy: Why White Evangelicals Worship at the Altar of Donald Trump. She's also the author of a very important 2008 book called God's Prophets, Faith, Fraud, and the Republican Crusade for Values Voters. And Sarah's reporting has appeared in the New York Times, the Washington Post, Vice, Rolling Stone, The Nation, and many, many other outlets. And we are just thrilled to have you with us in the project. Sarah's beat is religion and politics, so her contributions could not be more timely. All right. Sarah Posner, from your perspective as a journalist who focuses on politics and religion, are we living in a post-truth moment?
I think that we're on the precipice of being in a post-truth moment. I think the majority of Americans believe in a media that tries to seek out the truth and tell the truth and use facts and evidence instead of conspiracy theories and propaganda. But because Trump has weaponized the doubting of truth and weaponized disinformation, and he controls one of the two major parties in our two-party system, it's a very, very dangerous time. I would hate to think that we're already in this post-truth world, but I feel like we're on the edge. We're on the edge of people losing faith in evidence and facts and falling into conspiracy theories and false claims or things that confirm their biases about the world. So we're not quite there yet, but maybe I'm too optimistic, but I think we're at a very precarious time.
Your book, Unholy, looks very, very deeply into the roots of this moment and the history of the goddess here. So I almost hate to ask you for a snapshot of this history, but if you, in a few sentences, how would you say we got here? What do we need to know about how we got here, how we got to this point?
The Trump base, the coalition of Christian right activists and white nationalists and white supremacists who fueled Trump's rise, are the product of several decades of political activism that sowed doubt in the entire liberal democratic project. So it sowed doubt in the civil rights movement. It sowed doubt in the media. It sowed doubt in our democratic institutions like an independent judiciary, a free press, and separation of powers wherein the Congress, the legislative branch, would hold the executive branch accountable. And when you combine that with the alternative media ecosystem that's been built over those decades, first Christian television and televangelism, then Fox News, then Breitbart, then One America News Network. I mean, we're having more of a proliferation of these conspiracy-minded right-wing news sites. So then you have this toxic combination of attacks on liberal democracy, attacks on the civil rights and dignity of all citizens, and a disinformation, scapegoating media ecosystem. And the book obviously has a lot more detail than that, but that's kind of the thumbnail of how we got to the Trump coalition.
And where do we go from here?
We need to rebuild Americans' trust in liberal democracy. So democracy is not just, oh, we live in a democracy because we go and vote every 4 years or every 2 years. A democracy also has to have this foundation of an independent judiciary, a free press, a legislature that can hold the executive accountable so that all this power isn't vested in the executive, and a system that protects the human rights and civil rights and dignity of all its citizens, regardless of their sexual orientation, race, etc. So we really need to rebuild people's trust in all of those institutions at a time when people on all sides of the political spectrum really doubt many of those institutions for different reasons. But Trump has exploited that by sowing that kind of doubt about whether we should believe in those things or just believe him. So I don't know exactly how we embark on that kind of project as a country, but that's what needs to happen.
Great. Thank you so much.